Hey, everybody. So, we're going to jump into this. We're going to talk about where we're at in 2025 with the administration. Feel how you feel. I am here to talk about what needs to be done with the current state of what's happening in terms of the workforce. We're going to jump into it. So, how policy shifts are reshaping the workforce. We're jumping into it. Number one, the thing that we all know, DEI programs are getting eliminated. So the challenge, and I'm reading my notes, so let me backtrack. I went to AI and said, hey, given what's happening in 2025 with our current administration, I didn't add any extra details. I said, what's happening right now? Tell me the challenges that workforce organizations are facing and the workforce in general are facing. Let me know those challenges. Give me your solution to those challenges. And what steps can the common person take in terms of working towards this solution? I went to AI, specifically ChatGPT, and I'm going to read through the responses that I got. So, back to number one, the elimination of DEI programs. The federal government has cut diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, making it harder for organizations to support marginalized workers. So what's the solution? Shift over to private sectors and get partnerships with private organizations, private businesses, private companies. Start building some partnerships and seek alternative funding sources. So steps that we could take. Identify DEI friendly companies. There are companies out there that are DEI friendly. If you do not know, go to TikTok. You will find them very quick. Partner with DEI friendly companies. Reach out to HR or CSR, which is corporate social responsibility. Reach out to those departments. Many companies have budget for that. If they're not cut, they have budget, but definitely check to see if they have that. And then apply for foundation grants. Look into groups like the Ford Foundation or local community funds that support workforce initiatives. And then partner with local businesses. This is something that I spoke to before. Look at the medium-sized businesses, the small-sized businesses, and do partnerships with them. Okay, so the rescission of affirmative action requirements. So affirmative action is getting canceled out. That is what's happening right now. So employers no longer have to follow federal affirmative action guidelines, making diversity hiring less of a priority. That has happened. So now, the solution that AI suggested was encourage voluntary employer commitments and push for state level policies. So federally, things have happened, but you can still make change on a state level. For the everyday person that don't know how to go about that, there are different organizations that work with the community for you to be able to put your input in terms of policy. And one of the jobs that I do is that, like, I work with people locally to talk through, like, how do we get your story, your challenges, the things that you see on a day-to-day basis? How do we get that in front of policymakers so that way we can make change? Your voice can be heard. There's many organizations that do that. Let me know in the comments if you are looking for those type of organizations. I can do another video on how you can do that. So there's that. So the steps that you could take: create a local employer pledge, draft a simple commitment for businesses to prioritize diverse hiring and showcase it publicly. You can do that. It's going to be a challenge. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's going to be a challenge, but if you can do that, kudos to you if you can do that. Highlight the business benefits. So the benefits of having diversity in your organization. Show them how a diverse workforce improves innovation and profit. So we will have to let them know. And then talk to your local representatives. So there are local representatives who are still fighting for affirmative action. You have to find them and then talk to them about what we can do. Okay, so the next one is, this one was a big one, especially for the people that I work with. A lot of nonprofits had to deal with this issue, the federal funding cuts. Like, that is a big thing in terms of nonprofits. You'll be surprised how many organizations, how many people, how many industries have nonprofits that you interact with all the time and you just don't know they are being impacted. So the challenge is reduced funding means fewer job training programs. I got to where I'm at right now because of a job training program. That is what saved me from a world of headache. And now those things are being cut because of what's happening. There's hiring freezes. A lot of people are getting impacted by this. Not only are organizations not hiring, they also are letting go of people because of hiring freezes, and fewer opportunities for those needing career support. So on TikTok, I talked a lot about working with organizations to try to get a job. Now those things are getting cut. So we got to figure out alternatives. So the solution: tap into state, local grants, corporate sponsors, and social enterprises. I'll be honest, I think the way to go is getting those corporate sponsors. Corporate people, they have the money, they have the funds, so partnering with them might be the way to go. Social enterprise is another thing that I've been pushing for with some of the organizations that I work with, because it's hard for a workforce organization to get people placed. So getting people placed means they recruited people who needed a job, they trained them in a certain topic, and then they have to get them employed with someone else. Getting them employed, that's the placement part. It's getting them employed with someone else. That has been extremely difficult for workforce organizations and training programs. So the alternative would be create a social enterprise where that organization creates a business where they're getting recurring revenue, and then they can train people to work under that service that's creating the recurring revenue. So that is a way that we can work towards the solution. And let's see, I think I skipped. Okay. Why do I feel like local grants, corporate sponsorships, self-sustaining model, consider small business ventures like selling handmade products that train workers while generating an income. Why do I feel like I skipped past something? I don't see it. Oh. I was talking about the social enterprises. Okay. Now the steps. So research local grants. Instead of going national, go local. Instead of going federal, go local. Look for corporate sponsorships. We talked about that. Get connected with these corporate people. Let's see. Approach businesses that benefit from trained workers, like tech companies, for coding boot camps. Start a self-sustaining model. Consider small business ventures like selling handmade products that trains workers while generating an income. Crowdfund and seek community donations. That's going to be difficult. We all out here struggling, but do what you got to do. And then the final one. So the final challenge that we're facing in 2025 is legal challenges and operational uncertainty. The challenge: lawsuits and changing policies make it hard for workforce organizations to plan long term. I went to an event today. It is hard for them to plan long term. They do not know what is going to happen. So I'm just going to say that. So the solution: invest in policy advocacy and flexible program structures. So Steps that anyone can take: stay informed, follow news and advocacy groups that track workforce policies. I subscribe to, I'm not even gonna lie, 30 different newsletters just to figure out what's happening on the tech scene. 30. And I wish I was lying. I spent one whole night on this computer just like, okay, follow these people, follow these people, follow these people, just so I can like figure out what's going on. Join a coalition. I am doing this. I want to do this. I am in the middle of doing this. So groups like National Skills Coalition fight for workforce funding. Definitely do your research in terms of coalitions. I thought about starting, no, not a coalition. I wanted to start a collective, not a coalition. I'm not ready to fight. I'll help other people, but I'm not ready to be like, I'm not ready. But you can find other people who are out there actively fighting for funding and for things that our community needs. I'm more of a teacher. I'm more like, let me just help the people. Train in advocacy. So attend city council meetings, write letters to officials, and speak up for job training programs. Sorry, I hear my corgi barking. And then the last thing is build adaptable programs. So workforce organizations can offer modular training programs that adjust based on funding availability. This way, I am going to actively do. So I have switched over from doing like small business work with websites and marketing operations for the last 3 to 4 years. I've been working with a lot of nonprofits. I've been doing program management. I've been doing that type of stuff. And I think this one, I want to build a solution around it because I've been teaching a lot of digital literacy programs. And what tends to happen is people can only attend 1 or 2 classes and then they kind of need ongoing support afterwards, but there's nothing there for them to get that support, or programs disappear. I have been part of 2 programs that have disappeared after some time and is no longer available to them. So I've been trying to figure out how do we do this piece. But that is everything. Feel free to comment below. And I'll see you all next time.